Okay, so this is an introduction to the tutoring service for the course, just so that you're clear on how it works and you understand what the benefits can be. There are several ways in which the tutoring service will assist. You certainly want to be clear that you should be asking questions, you should be asking for help. You do have a textbook, you do have a professor who will provide you with information. So my goal is not to provide you with information that covers the entire content, but to really be there as a resource to answer your questions, specifically questions on Excel, questions on statistical concepts, questions on applying those and solving the problems. Those are the types of things that we will be working on together as tutor and student. I'm committed to responding within 36 hours to your questions. Typically, I aim for 24. You want to timetable your questions with this in mind. If it's going to be a 24 to 36 hour turnaround, don't expect and frustrate yourself by leaving questions until the night when papers are due, because you're probably not going to get a response. So you have to give yourself that cushion. Absolutely work with that and try to understand what it is. There will be weekly posts which will contain worked examples as well as a series of videos, and you want to make sure you're watching these videos and reading through the weekly post, looking at the worked examples and understanding how the solutions are arrived at so that you can apply those concepts. There will also be a tutoring conference. Feel free to post questions in the conference. Feel free to chime in the conversations with other students. Feel free to make your point. Feel free to raise questions and to bring up topics that are not initiated by anybody else, but stuff that you need clarification on or you want to share some information. This is really your classroom, and this is really what you're gonna be able to share with your classmates. Greater participation in this will often times lead to better results, so you want to give yourself certainly a shot at that. It's essential that you read the textbook prior to attempting the problems. I've seen students who attempt to do the problems by hunting for the answers after they have read the questions. This can prove to be very frustrating. You don't get the holistic approach, the overall concepts. Sometimes you miss concepts, and it generally is not a successful way of doing things. Feel free to use private messages. Feel free to add this to the tutoring conference. I really prefer when students use the conference because it allows you to share the information with others. And in terms of wrapping up and giving you a little tip, one of the things that you will find very useful is when you have consecutive sessions for the week, you want to make sure you're not carrying forward unanswered questions. So what I've suggested in the past, every time you sit to do a session, you open an email, and anything that comes up that you need clarification on, you should be composing a question in that email, sending it out at the end of your session, so that when you sit next to do a session, you are not carrying forward yesterday's questions, but you're getting the answers. And this is especially important since the feedback is not going to be instantaneous. So you wanna develop that habit. It's gonna be worth the time you're gonna spend to do it. And it can also be an email which just says that, hey, there's no questions today, just to keep the habit. But you definitely wanna be able to do that. It's also a great habit to, every time you look in a conference, you're making a post. So if you go in the tutor conference and you just read what's there and what's new, even if it just says thanks for this post, it helps, or is there anything else you could add to this? It gets you to be an active participant, and it drives you and gives you milestones, sort of, so that you don't become passive, but you maintain your level of activity. That's just a tip that I've found that works to keep people engaged and connected, even though it's an online environment. It keeps you engaged and active in the classroom. So give it a shot, give it your best shot. The backgrounds for statistics and backgrounds for Excel and backgrounds mathematically, I'm sure is going to be very different, wide and varying for some people who are experts, some people who are not experts, and I know you will always have some concerns about that, but I'm here to work with you to get through those concerns so we can all celebrate your success at the end of this. All right, gonna require some hard work and focus, but listen to these tips and send me a note. Let me know if you have any questions. If anything I said is unclear, I'll certainly be willing to clarify. All right, so thank you for watching and see you in the course. Bye.